In the heart of Miami, 4 young human males are about to embark on the type of night they've had countless times before and will have countless times again. The point of the evening, to find a female with which to engage in sexual intercourse. One by one, they greet each other with deep affection as they share a strong social bond developed over many years. Alphas and betas are clearly delineated. They start the night with a ritual as sacred as it is important. The pregame. Here, the young males can bond, plan their evening, and most importantly, consume alcohol. Alcohol, in this instance, is primarily used to boost confidence and lower inhibitions. As the potent substance infiltrates their brains, their conversation turns ever more excitable, and the young males proceed to boast of successful conquests of nights past. Some are more impressive than others. Becoming increasingly intoxicated, the young males begin texting current female prospects, inquiring into their plans for the evening. And while the group texts back and forth with their prospects, those very prospects are texting with prospects of their own. Indeed, this exact scenario is playing out across countless apartments throughout Miami and every human city around the world. The crew, hours into their pregame, feeling bold and self-assured, have decided it is time to embark on their expedition. They have opted to start the night at a favorite local watering hole known for being frequented by young nubile females. The perfect environment. They had considered inviting the prospects they'd been texting with earlier, but the allure of something new was too strong to ignore. Why bring sand to the beach, they reasoned. A fair point. The group enters and walks straight to the bar to consume more alcohol, even though they clearly don't need it. While they wait, they quickly survey the territory, take note of the females in close proximity, and discuss. Built-in biases based on millions of years of finely honed evolution allow them to quickly deduce a mate's figure. And although they have preferences in what physical attributes they most value, the core of what they desire remains the same. Healthy, fertile females that appear likely to produce robust children. Wide childbearing hips, large mammary glands for feeding. These are strong indicators of a female with the ideal genetics for raising a large brood. The irony, of course, is that producing children is the last thing they want this evening. Indeed, humans are one of only a handful of species in the animal kingdom that can copulate only for pleasure, and in many cases are actively trying to avoid procreation. They've spotted their first target. Not her, although that is a nice ass. Oh, sorry, they've spotted their first target. A group of 3. One female is universally attractive, one moderately so, and the last is what this group affectionately refers to as the other one. 2 of the males decide to initiate courtship. They begin slowly inching toward the females. Talking to each other casually, they look for an opening. The first male, laughing just a bit louder than usual at his companion's comment, glances over, hoping to make eye contact with one of the females. It takes a moment. Oh, there we are. Success. One of the females has noticed the young male, briefly reciprocated eye contact, and smiled. It was the other one. But that's okay. The young male knows he can begin the interaction with her and through her meet the others. The two males introduce themselves and the dance begins. The other two, noticing the initial success of their companions and no longer risking rejection, decide to join the group. The first two males welcome them in, and just like that, the two groups have merged into one. Things start off splendidly. Laughter and playful banter fill the room. Smiles all around. As the conversation unfolds, however, the males become increasingly focused on the attractive female. The mediocre female receives her own share of attention, but the other one is being ignored. Her attempts to insert herself in the conversation go unnoticed, and she starts to become frustrated. Not long after, she starts showing signs that she'd like to depart. Huffing and puffing, she storms off. The other two females, enjoying themselves but ultimately indifferent, shrug and consent. A classic block.
Oh well.
While the young males are conversing, one of them notices a delightful female in his proximity and says hello. She shakes his hand reluctantly and quickly turns back to her companion. Brimming with confidence, however, he is unfazed by her reaction and shrugs off the dismissal. In spite of the failed engagement, his male companions applaud his efforts in a show of camaraderie. Moral support is standard in the male human world, as they are all familiar with the bitter taste of rejection. Further downriver, we notice a young male buying drink after drink after drink for a group of 3 racy young females, in the hopes of, well, let's just say he'll take whatever he can get. He's certain that this display of generosity will woo them, and getting them drunk certainly helps his odds. What he doesn't realize, however, is that despite their suggestive demeanor, these 3 vixens have already decided they will never mate with him. But as long as the charade keeps going, the drinks keep flowing. Free of charge, the females continue to flirt. One of the young males strikes up a conversation with the exploited male, acutely aware that this male has attractive females within his group. His objective? An introduction. A most clever strategy. The other males take advantage of his distraction and swarm in, but the females stay in close proximity to ward off the predators. Close, but no cigar. The young males, rejected yet again, proceed to blame one another for their failed engagement. Typical. The young males decide to relocate to an uncharted area of the watering hole, hoping to find more receptive prospects. Midway, one of the young males runs into a female with which he's had previous sexual encounters. Repeat orders are a clear indication of customer satisfaction. Unfortunately for the rest, she is accompanied by somewhat unremarkable companions. The female invites the male to join her group for the evening. It is a tempting offer for the young male, for he knows that joining her group will assure his evening results in coitus. His male companions, however, communicate that they prefer he continue hunting as part of the pack. After all, they remind him, the only thing better than good pussy is new pussy. A fair point. The young males, having exhausted their options, decide it is time to try a new watering hole. On their way out, one of the males notices the group from earlier that night. including the attractive female. Sensing that their earlier interaction had gone well and had only ended prematurely because of the other one, he re-engages and asks for her number. Success. Now he can contact her directly and meet her on another night without interference. A most serendipitous turn of events. Delighted, he rejoins the group. The young males walk into another popular watering hole and quickly survey the environment. This place will do. They walk to the bar and order yet another round of drinks, plus shots. Nearby, they notice a group of 4. Perfect. They are decidedly not fantastic looking. But the hour is late, the young men are very intoxicated, and their standards have plummeted. This time, there is no hesitation to the approach or even a formal introduction. They simply ambush them, brave as lions. The females, luckily, are just as intoxicated, and so they gladly welcome the group. Unlike their earlier interactions that evening, this time the males immediately induce a high level of physical intimacy. Right away, there is touching and caressing and hugging, a foreplay of sorts, and the females are flirting right back. Ah yes, the wonders of alcohol. Building on this momentum, one of the males decides to buy yet another round of shots. They all cheers and drink. This is it. The young males can feel it, and so one of them decides it is time to go for the kill. His eyes, filled with lust, lock with his target. He puckers his lips, grabs her by the waist, and leans in. Success. The 2 humans have now crossed the just friends barrier to something a bit more intimate. And now that one of the females has allowed a kiss, the others will be more receptive to a smooch of their own. Or so they thought. The female explains that she is in an exclusive relationship with another male, and so are the remaining 2. Disaster. The mood of the group quickly changes. The young males are annoyed as they had dedicated a good portion of their evening to this group, not to mention all the drinks they bought. In a huff, the young males decide to leave. They tell their companion, however, to stay with his female, as it is likely that he can copulate with her that night. But the young male, loyal to his crew, tells them that he would also rather leave. After all, he explains, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. A fair point. Plus, she's not that hot. Another fair point. The young males move on to another part of the watering hole, and they move quickly. They know that the later it gets, the more scarce the terrain becomes. One of the males spots an attractive female and starts a conversation. She responds positively, but almost instantly, a second female grabs her arm and drags her away. One of the young males notices his companion is struggling and forces an interaction with a nearby female in an attempt to help his friend wet his willy. But her reaction is hostile. The female gives him a dismissive look and turns away, wounding his pride. Unlike his other male companions, a negative response has a disproportionate impact. Dejected and unwilling to subject himself to further rejection, the young male suddenly realizes how hungry he is. His desire to eat quickly outweighs his desire to mate. he expresses his newfound concern. The rest are also hungry, but it is a different type of hunger they're looking to satisfy. The bouncer politely asks them to leave. The crew makes a graceful entrance into their final destination to try their luck before officially ending the night. And immediately notices there's a very high male-to-female ratio. Unimpressed with the barren landscape, the ego-bruised male decides to part ways. He'd rather hunt for food. Food always says yes. The remaining 3 ordered drinks. It's getting late. One of the males, now in a complete drunken stupor, decides to message previous sexual partners in the hopes that one will rendezvous. Sending a text this late at night will result in only one of 2 outcomes: a sexual encounter or an offended female. More likely the latter. It is a desperate move, but the risk is worth the reward. As the males drink, they notice 2 females on their own. An attractive and... Wasting no time, the 3 males approach. They immediately start posturing, vying for the attention of the attractive female. The other one, ignored as usual, tries her best to be included. This one is particularly eager. Suddenly, the young male gets a notification on his phone. Success! His gambit worked. He announces that he needs to leave immediately and departs with a warm embrace. The competition resumes for the 2 remaining males, and the stakes couldn't be higher. They are both acutely aware that this might be their last chance to mate with an attractive female. As they both try their best to impress her, she makes her desires known by directing her attention to her preferred male. He is taller, after all. He picks up on her social cues, confidence growing with every passing moment. Pupils dilating and dopamine surging, pheromones fill the air. Slowly and deliberately, the budding duo start to exclude the other male from the conversation. Recognizing defeat, he backs off. The other one, seeing her chance, makes her interest known aggressively. The young male, even in his extreme state of inebriation, has no interest in the other one. He politely refuses her advances and decides it is time to go home. His mate, visibly concerned, requests that he stay, for he knows that if his friend leaves, the other one will leave, taking with her his prize. The young male, recognizing the truth of his friend's concern, begrudgingly accepts the request, giving his friend 10 minutes, max. The pressure is on. The young male expedites his courtship. Meanwhile, the other male directs his attention back to the other one. Time passes agonizingly slow. Barely maintaining his composure, he signals to his friend that time is running out. The young male, feeling pressured, suggests to his new friend that they go back to his place. She responds that she'd love to, but she can't go anywhere without the other one. Well, this certainly complicates things. The young male knows that if he can get the female back to his dwelling, a sexual encounter is assured. But he needs the other one to come. And to get the other one to come, he needs his friend to come. He must ask his friend for what is considered the ultimate test of friendship in the male human world. To take one for the team and mate with the other one. This will be a hard sell. The pitch begins and he makes his desperate plea. The young male looks deep inside himself. He knows he must commit this vile act for the greater good. The sheer thought of what's coming sends shivers down his spine. He questions his very existence. What missteps have led him to this moment? What has he done to deserve this? Where did he go wrong? And so, the night comes to an end for our 4 young heroes. One consoles his failures with heavy carbs, the other meets his midnight rendezvous. And as for our 2 last standing heroes, well, they jump in their Uber and mission accomplished.